Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar, Find the Best Partners to Accelerate Innovation. Thank you for joining. This webinar will last around 30 minutes. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Héloïse Naudy. I am a product consultant at Expernova. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the question tool on GoToWebinar and I will answer at the end. If I don't have enough time to answer your question, we will come back to you with personalized answers. You can also contact us by email on the following address, contact@expernova.com. To begin, I will take you through a common use case to discover how to easily access and identify potential partners and analyze their expertise. But before starting, let's take 2 short minutes to see how to approach a research partnership in a structured way, and let's find out the essential criteria to remember when selecting your future partner. The world is becoming too fast, too complex, and too networked for any company to have all the answers inside. This famous quote illustrates perfectly the context in which innovative companies are operating today. They are forced to confront new reality, the proliferation in the volume of scientific data and the emergence of great literature, the mushrooming of different sources of information disseminated on a global scale, the emergence of highly dynamic new countries and operators, the interconnection of many different scientific fields, and the shortening of product life cycles. According to a study we conducted with 90 decision makers in R&D and innovation in 2016 on their open innovation practice, 80% say they engage in partnership research at least once a year. Thus, whether it is to pool risk and cost, seek leverage, or boost commercialization, partnerships are at the heart of the strategies. Partnerships allows to access skills and tools that are not present internally to achieve innovation goals. Partnerships allow to mutualize R&D costs. They allow to have more ambitious goals. They allow to share the risk related to the development of new processes, products, but also share IP and results. They allow to accelerate the time to market, and they allow to obtain funding through research consortia, for example. The selection of a future R&D partner is a crucial phase. Structuring and rationalizing such an approach to make gains in efficiency and limit risk is not an easy task. Faced with a diversity of motivations and situations which lead to the launching of a collaborative project, one could conclude that for each project, there is a different ideal partner profile. For example, integrating a technology into a product which is virtually finished in order to adapt to a specific market won't carry the same implication as financing an exploratory academic project whose aim is to maintain one's position as a market leader. So how do we choose the partner who suits us most? To facilitate this task, it is essential to structure your partner search process. To do so, first you have to clearly express the ultimate aim of the partnerships. It is a preliminary stage. It will form the basis for the main decisions in terms of the type of partners to give preference to, the readiness level of the research, the required experience, and the degree of recognition and the location. You have also to identify the necessary scientific or technological skills for the projects that have to be done in successive stages. For example, dividing a skill up into sub-skills, exploring comparable domains and sectors, and identifying skills which are related to a target field are often necessary stages in identifying the project specification for the ideal partner. You have also to define the scope of the project. The need to access public funding, particularly when responding to calls for project tenders, can also impose a number of constraints on the partner profiles, academic or industrial, national or European or international, etc., etc. The launch of the H2020 project, sponsored by the European Union, is a good example. The creation of a consortium to take on such a project generally involves bringing together industrial and academic stakeholders from several different countries within the Union. The creation of a team, which is rich in terms of the type of member, their nationalities, and, where possible, their experience on this type of project, is often a key factor in successfully obtaining funding, which can range from tens of thousands of euros to several million. Then it is also essential to take into account the human resources required for the project. Does one have the capacity to oversee a project of international scope, or should one opt for a partnership which brings with it geographical proximity and linguistic proficiency? The success of a project can in large part be attributed to the quality of the monitoring and the capacity to regularly recalibrate the project so as not to diverge from the end goals specified at the outset. The profile of the in-house project manager, who must possess a good overview of the project, entrust to the partner without necessarily being an expert in the field, may also therefore be a decisive factor. Then it will be necessary to make arbitration in terms of priority among the many criteria of selection of a future partner. Your selection criteria will depend on your motivations. Why you are setting up a collaboration. It can be to maintain a leadership position, to acquire a European dimension, to establish a position of innovating actor. It can be to solve a technological issue, etc., etc. So depending on your motivation, you will have to take into account selection criteria such as ensure that your future partner is dynamic and motivated by the project, that he shares the same vision as you. You have also to make sure that he has recognized expertise on the subject or that it is his core business. You have to see also if he has complementary skills to yours. Pay attention to the geographical location of your future partner and the language barrier. It is also important to look at their network. Someone with a large network can help disseminate and value your research results. Also consider whether this network has a national, European, or international dimension. Look at their experience in collaborative projects. Have they already participated in projects? If so, on what subject? With what type of organization? On project of what scales? What cost? With what funding? Finally, the singularity and originality of their work is also a criteria to be taken into account. What have they published or filed as patents? So a good partner would ideally be an active partner who is involved in the project, a partner with a scientific legitimacy, with technical and linguistic skills, who contributes to the content and brings substance to the project, a responsive partner who responds quickly to requests from the coordinator, one with experience with collaborative project implementation, one with a network of established partners, one with who you share the same values, the same vision of the project, and one who has the financial capacity and who is committed and motivated other than through funding. So now let's go through the use case. My company is working on improving the strength of fiber-reinforced polymers, also called fiber-reinforced plastic. Thanks to their good mechanical strength, their low density, and their corrosion resistance properties, fiber-reinforced polymers find their main application in many sectors such as aeronautics, automotive, marine, building material, aerospace, etc., etc. As a small company, I am looking for partners to access skills and tools that are not present internally, and also to mutualize R&D costs. My goal is to identify experienced partners who have already worked on collaborative projects. I would like to privilege a partner close geographically, with the language and the culture, and with whom I will be able to easily collaborate on the long term. So let's switch to the Expernova platform. So the first step is the observation. Before launching, especially if you want to monitor the project, it is necessary to carry out an analysis of its environment. This involves studying the market, existing technology, and assessing the strengths and weaknesses of its own technology. So I will show you now how to access the scientific literature on your research topic. To do so, the first step is to start a search on our research topic. So enter your query in the search bar and then click on search. So the search result interface will display. And so the next step now is to access the information via the search result interface. Let's first take a look at this interface for this query on fiber reinforced polymer. So at the top of the screen, you have your query, and below you have 5 pictograms that indicate the type and the number of results. For example, on our query, Expernova has identified 36,000 experts. In gray, we have the organization. So Expernova has identified more than 1,600 organizations working on our topic. Expernova has identified in yellow 7,000 scientific documents, 18,000 patent families, and 181 projects. Underneath the header, you have access to lists and graphs. From the differences, you can access to the list of experts who work on fiber reinforced polymer. Then below, you have the list of the organizations that are working on the fiber reinforced polymer. So you have the companies, below you have the R&D centers, and below you have the academics, which includes the hospitals, the universities, for example. And below you have the list of the scientific works, the scientific publication, patent family, and project. So let's start by exploring the scientific works on our subject to gather all the knowledge on the topic. The goal here is to access scientific works to identify what has already been done. This can allow us to detect expertise that could supplement the knowledge or the know-how that we might miss internally. The Expernova database includes scientific publications, so it includes articles reviewed by peer, theses, scientific posters, books, conference proceedings, grey literature. It includes also the patents and the projects. The project includes European project, FP5, FP6, FP7, H2020, and also we collect also the American project, the STTR and the SBIR. So for each works, Expernova displays the 4 most relevant items on your topic. You can access a scientific work by clicking on its title, and if you want to see all the items, you have to display the complete list of publication by clicking on More. So let's do it for the scientific publication. So I click on More to display all the scientific publication on the fiber reinforced plastic. At the top of the screen, you have order option. By default, all the publications are ordered by relevance, but you can also order them by year. And you have also the ability to use some filter if you want to filter the publication by domain, by countries, or per publication type. When you want to access a publication, just click on the title like this to display it on the right. From the publication, you can access to the title of the publication, the date of publication, the abstract, the list of keywords, the list of scientific domains. Then, on the right, you have some links that allows you to retrieve the publication on Google Scholar, or the other link allows you to retrieve the full text. You have also the publication source here, the list of the author of the document. Everything is clickable. If you want more information about Julian Schneider, you can click on it to display its profile. And you have below the list of the affiliation of the author, which are clickable also. And at the end, you have some suggestion of publications on the same topic. Now, let's see the patent families. So it works exactly the same way we did for the publication, and to access, so you can either access directly the patent family from the dashboard, or you can click on more to access the full list of patent families. So for the patent families, you still have some order option and filter option. And for example, you can filter all the patent families by the patent international classification. And it works the same way than the publication. To access a patent family, just click on its title. And you can access the following metadata. So the title of the patent family, the date, the abstract, and on the right, you have a link that allows you to retrieve the patent family on EspaceNet. You've got the number of the patent family, and you have also the international classification. You have below the list of the inventors of the patent. You have the list of the applicants, and you have patent family related to the same topic. So to access them, just click on their title. Now, let's see the project. It works the same way we did for the publication and the patent family. Click more to access the full list of the project on the fiber reinforced plastic. Then you still have the order option and the filter. And to access a project, just click on its title, like this. So you can access to the title of the project, the start date and the end date, its costs and its funding. You can access to the description of the project. You have the publication source, data related to the project. We can see that it is a H2020 project. You have the name of the coordinator and the list of the participants to the project. And of course, everything is clickable, so you can access to the profile of the different organizations. At the end, you have some project related to the same topic. So to summarize, I showed you how to access all the scientific literature on fiber reinforced polymers. So thanks to this, you can identify existing research themes and detect expertise or skills that you would miss internally. This allows you to better define your line of research and detect scientific or technological skills that are the best able to help you solve your problem in a partnership. Now, let's see how to identify organizations that can become potential partners. Before looking at the list of organizations working on fiber reinforced polymer, let's first have a look to the collaborative networks graph. Here you can see which actors have been working on the most on your research topic. We can also see which people are the most connected in terms of network. We can see the main interaction between the company and the R&D centers. Each bubble represents an organization. So for example, you have here the organization Airbus. If you want to have more details on this organization, just click on the bubble to display its profile on the right. You can also, when you put your mouse over the bubble, you can see that there are some lines that are highlighted. It represents the different scientific collaboration, so you can easily see who is working with who and on which domain. So this graph gives you an overview of the network of collaboration of the main actors working on fiber reinforced polymer. It allows you to quickly identify the main actors who have expertise on the subject, and you can also view their collaboration on the subject. Now let's go back to the list of organizations. Organizations have been classified per type. Company, so all the industrial organization, R&D labs, and academics. Let's go to the company. So all the things I will show you on the company, you can do exactly the same for the R&D labs and the academics. So you can access the list of the company by clicking on More. So this is a list of the company that Expernova has identified and which work on the fiber reinforced plastic. You can see that you have, they are ordered by relevance, but you can order them alphabetically, and you can apply some filter on the list. For example, you can apply a geographical filter to help you target a geographic area based on your strategic goals. For example, to help you get started in a new geographic area. So you can apply a filter at the level of the continent or at the level of the country. And here, for example, we can see that there are a lot of German organizations that are working on this subject. We have also the French and also the United Kingdom's organizations that are the most represented. You can also filter the organization per type of organization. So here there is already a filter that is applied to display only the industrial organization, but for example, you can filter to display only the startup, the SMEs. And for a large group, partnering with a startup can be interesting because it can allow it to assimilate innovation without going through a heavy and expensive internal process. In exchange, a startup will benefit from logistical, financial, and human resources. This can allow it to boost its development, and in addition, it can help them gain notoriety and visibility. A partnership with a large group is both a source of credibility and a springboard for market opportunities. Let's now look at the profile to check the expertise of the organization. So to access the expertise of an organization, to access its profile, just click on the name of the organization. So let's take the example of Airbus. I click on the name of Airbus to display its profile on the right. So what kind of information do we have? We have the name of the organization at the top, the type of organization, and in the case the organization is made of different subsidiaries, here you have a link that allows you to display each subsidiary profile. And of course, each division has its own profile with its own expertise and works. Then below you have the research subject. You have contact information here that allows you to contact the organization. And then you can find the expertise of the organization. So this allows you to quickly have a look at the specificity of the organization without checking all the scientific works. From here, you can access to the expert, the scientific documents, the patent family, the project, and the collaborative network of the organization. But this is related to the full expertise. Above that, you have the why feature. The why feature displays elements that justify why the organization is relevant to your research topic. So we can see that in this section, I have a lot of interesting indicators that allow me to help me in my selection of partner. So for example, I can see that Airbus has been working on the fiber reinforced plastic for 38 years. He has recently published works on the topic, and Airbus is a precursor on the topic. You have elements of network and community. For example, we can see that Airbus has collaborated 56 times on this topic. You have the name of his best connection. We can see that all these connections are located in 13 countries. We can see that Airbus has participated to a project related to our topic. We can see that he's currently participating to projects on the topic. And we have Expernova has identified the division that are working on the topic, because Airbus is a large group. So from here, of course, it's clickable. You can access to the division of Airbus, which have been working on our topic. Now, let's see the collaboration network on Airbus on our topic. To do so, I click on the 56 connection. And here you have two different things. You have a graph with Airbus in the middle, and all over you have the organization with which Airbus has collaborated or collaborates. And below you have exactly the same information under the form of a list. In the middle, you have some graphs that give you some indication to the network, to the collaboration of Airbus on our topic. So we can see that Airbus collaborates mainly with companies. In terms of geographical area, we can see that the collaboration are mainly done in France and also in Germany, and a little less in United Kingdom. And we can see the scientific domains from where are coming the co-publications. So the co-publications are mainly localized in the engineering sciences. So below, we can see the list of the different organizations with which Airbus has collaborated. And we can see some filters. So you can filter per geographical country, for example, if you want to target a specific geographical area. And you can also apply a filter per type of organization. For example, if you identify an organization which is interesting for you, you can double check here that this company is not already working with your competitor. So to do so, you can use this filter. And you have also the scope filter here, which show you if the organization used to collaborate internally or externally. And when an organization used to collaborate externally, we can deduce that he has the experience of the collaborative project. Now we have identified the organization with which Airbus has collaborated. We would like to know what they've done together. So to do so, click on Open Connection in front of the organization that interests you to display the collaboration form. This collaboration form shows you why the collaboration between Airbus and, for example, the German aerospace centers are relevant on our topic, on our query. So we can see that they have been working together for 30 years. They have recently published some works on our topic. They have participated to one common project, and they currently participate to a common project on the topic. They have also co-published 2 common scientific documents, and of course, everything is clickable, so you can access the project and the co-publication. Let's go back to Airbus profile. So to finish, in the why, we saw the experience element and the network element, and you can also identify the experts. Expernova has identified for you the expert of Airbus, who are also working on the topic. And you can also access to the scientific works related to our topic. So here we can see that Airbus has published 34 scientific documents on our topic. He has invented 203 patent family on the topic. And so, of course, everything is clickable, so you can access the scientific works. So we have seen, so I show you how to do it for the company, but of course you can do the same with laboratories and university. And we will stop there, but it is obviously commonplace to identify additional partners to identify a sufficient number of organizations that meet your selection criteria in case some of the partners you have selected cannot work with you. So we have seen how to access the global vision of the actors on the subject of fiber reinforced polymers, depending on the purpose of your project, for example, the desire to maintain a technological lead and your leadership, or the need to develop new feature or bring technological innovation to a product, or the need to raise a technological lock on a specific problem, you will have defined different selection criteria. In our case, we saw how with Expernova you can access the list of organizations working on fiber reinforced polymer, how to apply filters to target a geographical area, for example, to establish a new geographical area. We also saw how to apply filter to target a type of organization like SME and startup, for example. And we have seen how to display the profile of an organization to verify its expertise and access to its work, its experts, and finally, its network of collaboration on the subject. Now we come to the third and final stage. Now that you have access to the relevant information, it is time to capitalize on the knowledge gained. And for this, the Expernova platform allows you to bookmark, export, and share documents of profile of organization. So for example, if you want to bookmark Airbus, you just need to click on this button to create your bookmark. You have also the ability to export and to share the different organization profile and also the scientific works like the publication, the project, or the patent family. So this feature allows you to create a list of potential partners that you can contact later. That brings me to the end of today's webinar. So to conclude, let's summarize all that we have done. So today we have seen how, from a few keywords, you can access the scientific literature related to a research topic. So we saw how to access the project, the scientific publication, and the patent family on our research topic, and this allows me to see how I position myself in relation to what has already been done and where I want to go, so I can refine my project. We saw how to obtain a global vision of the actors working on my topic to identify potential partners to set up a scientific partnership. We saw how to access the list of organizations, so the companies, the laboratories, the university, that are working on our research topic. We have identified the list of organizations working on fiber reinforced polymer. We have applied geographical filter on result to target company. And we have seen how to filter by organization type to quickly identify the startup or SME or large groups working our topic. And we saw how to access the profile of organization, whether it is companies, laboratories and universities, in order to look at their research topic, their expertise, their experts, their scientific works, their possible participation in current or past projects on polymers reinforced fiber. And above all, we were able to see their collaboration network. We have noticed the profile of Airbus Laboratory, which have already done projects on this subject and has the experience of conducting collaborative projects. They have already a network of established partners. They are established in the same geographical area as me, and they have the human, methodological, and technical skills that I miss. And finally, we were able to capitalize on our research thanks to the bookmark, export, sharing functionalities by creating a short list of organizations that you can contact thanks to the contact information in order to set up a collaboration. So I realize that the time is almost gone, so I propose you to go to the question. I will just take one or two questions, and for the person I did not answer, I will send you a personalized answer. Let's see. Oh, the question. Could you please re-explain the why? So the why I show you inside the organization profile provides you with an analytical element to justify why this organization is considered as one of the most relevant on your topic. So you can view elements such as the experience of the organization on your topic. You can view his collaborative network, his connection. You can access to its community of experts and to its scientific works. A last question is related to the relevance, the criteria of relevance to order the different organization and the publication. So there is a complex algorithm behind the query in the search engine. Let's say, to make it simple, that the different criteria of relevancy are first, the number of the occurrences of the keyword you are searching for. So the most you find the keyword inside the scientific work, the most it will be relevant. The second criteria will be the position of this keyword, whether it is on the title or whether it is in the description. It won't have the same weight. Third criteria will be the date of the scientific works. We privilege is the recent document. And the last criteria is the type of document. For example, a scientific poster, we have less weight than an article reviewed by peer, for example. So this webinar is now finished. For the question I did not answer, I will send you a personalized answer. Now it is your turn to use Expernova. If you are not a user, please feel free to ask for a personalized demo at contact@expernova.com. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.